Welcome.
Welcome to everyone joining the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate having you here. I know a lot of people could not see it on my thumbnail, but I do have a special guest at Just Being Sierra is here with us tonight, guys. She was able to come on live with me on Sunday. We did it just a small Sunday reset. Check in with you guys, see what you were up to, what you were doing for your household in preparation of getting ready for the week. A lot of people are preparing now for the upcoming school year and returning to work. So there's a lot of resetting that needs to happen. For anyone who may be new to the chat tonight, we do have collabs. Next week, we do have one where we are preparing for returning to school. Any type of preparation that you may have to do for yourself or your family, feel free to join in on that collab. We tried to tailor it this time of the year because we knew a lot of people will be returning to work and school. Thank you to everyone that's in here tonight. Mega love shout out to all of Team Happy that's here. Thank you so much. Amaechi, Walker Family TV, thank you for joining us. You should have been up here on the panel with us tonight, Queen. You already conquered this thing. Feel free, anyone, to DM me if you are interested in joining me up on my panel. You do not have to be a member of any of my groups. This is open invitation to anyone who may be able to or willing to come up on my panel to be a guest. Tamika, I know you told me no before, but if you change your mind, know that you always have a space up here with me, sweetheart. And this is your weekly shout out. Lisette, welcome, vlogging with the Fields. Tamika Davis. Again, all of Team Happy. Life with Brandy, welcome. I was able to get your message right before I came over here to set up. So thank you for joining me, sweetheart. We miss you. Let's see. Okay. So tonight's topic, guys, you already saw from the thumbnail. We are going to be talking about the two-parent household. Specifically with a single mother with children, when she brings in another gentleman outside of the children's father. We're just trying to see how women are manning the household with their other partner. Like, what exactly do you expect from that partner? How do you expect or how do you foresee your household being ran? And the reason why I came up with tonight's topic is because I do sit in on the Sensational Gent, which I told you guys this several times in the past. It's a group of gentlemen who come together every week and they speak openly about different dynamics of dating American women. And they really, really express how and why they are no longer interested in dating American women. This topic seems to come up a lot. It's unfortunate, but men are being turned off by strong minded American women and how they are running their household or the lack thereof. So I thought this would be interesting to bring to my platform so we as women can sit and chat and just discuss how we do things. I will share some of the guys' opinions throughout tonight's live stream, but I basically want to get some feedback from you in the audience as well. So Sierra is going to actually present the questions for us. Guys, feel free to chime right in with your answers or your opinions on each of the questions. Sierra?
Okay, so question number one, are men only in the home for financial support? Do you feel that they are? Do you feel that they're not? Do you feel like they're there for more than just this financial support? Or what is your opinion?
Welcome to everyone from Team Happy. Thank you guys for coming in. I still see you coming in. A mega love shout out to you all. Again, guys, the question is, are men only in your household as financial support? In the men's stream, it is very unfortunate, but from their viewpoint, they felt like they basically were being used by the female as financial support. So Tamika Davis says no. Okay, good. Yeah, unfortunately, those fellas over there felt like women basically invite men into their household when they are a single mother, primarily for financial support. Definitely more than just financials. They are there for mental, physical, and emotional. I like that, Lisette. Very good, because that's exactly the type of answers that we were looking for tonight. I was hoping that my community felt completely opposite from what these men were saying over in his group chat. Actually, his was, I have to correct that. He did a video and they were in his comment section, but a lot of his live streams are tailored to these topics. I can't invite a man into my home as a single mom just for money support. Okay. Sadly to say, there are a lot of women that do it. They really do. Maybe the kid's father walked away and they had, a lot of women do this. They have a man basically stashed that they know that they're interested in and want to pursue. And the moment that their relationship falls apart, they run and pursue that guy. They don't spend enough time alone to get on their own 2 feet, or maybe they're just intimidated that now they have to be solely responsible for all the bills. So 9 times out of 10, they move the next man right into the home. If that's the case, might as well get a sugar daddy. Exactly. Well, that's basically what they are doing. Well, there are still some younger men that are willing to move in with older women as well and take on that responsibility, or even men their own age. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any of the comments. Okay. I agree. Tamika and Lisette. That's from Sierra.
Lisette, I've been bringing in the house that they need help.
I'm sorry, I'm over here clicking the wrong thing, guys. I appreciate. I apologize. Yeah. You said you were reading something from Lisette. Okay, it does happen. The women do bring men in the house because they need. Yes, it really does happen. I know a number of cases on a personal level where that was the case. Um, they actually were intimidated that they would have to assume all the responsibility, so they moved the next man right into the home. I know quite a few men like that too. Men tend to hop from bed to bed because they have a fear of being alone. I don't understand it. No problem, Lacey. Welcome in. I appreciate having you here. We're still on the first question, and it's, are men only in your household for financial support when it comes to single mothers? Do you only bring men after your children father and you separate into your home, basically for financial support? Yeah, it happens. It's sad, but it does happen. And like I was saying, a lot of men have a fear of being alone and they hop from bed to bed. They go from women to women because men, and I hate to say this, but we all know it, they're cheap. They rather go somewhere where they can pay a portion of the bill versus getting their own spot and paying everything on their own. Helenista, welcome, sissy. Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate having you here, beautiful. We're talking about single mothers and how they are running their household, and we're still on the first question, actually. Are men only brought into your home when you're a single mother for the sake of financial support? What do you guys feel about that? Lacey and Helenisa, who's just coming in, what's your thoughts on that? Welcome, East Dad. Thank you for joining us tonight, King. Judith Daniels, welcome. So happy to have a gentleman in the live stream tonight. Don't know if you'll stay the whole duration, but actually, we are talking about single mothers, and we're not past the first question yet. And I asked them, do they only bring men into the home for financial support when they basically separate from the kid's father? I shared with them a little while ago that in another gentleman's live streams that I go to every week, it's a group of gentlemen that express their concerns, and they are all basically concerned that whenever they get into relationships with, okay, whenever they get into relationships with single mothers, it's the same old, same old. They basically feel like they're there for financial stability. So I'm presenting that question to my community of women. I want my man to be the head money maker of the home, him paying the rent and me taking care of utilities and the household needs. Okay, that's a good answer. Actually, that's probably the answer to one of our upcoming questions, actually. I saw something from Judith. Let me go back here. The Bible says if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. Wow. Okay. But, okay, so say you have children with a man, and unfortunately your situation does not work out, and so now you move on to the next man. And so when you bring this man into your home, into your family dynamics, is it solely for financial support? That's actually the way the question should be. So yeah, he has to pay his way, but did you only choose to bring him in for financial support? Having a man in a home has many benefits, but yes, it goes both ways. Exactly. Um, as a single mom, when dating, I make sure not to ask the man I'm dating for money, no matter how down and bad I am solely because I don't want him to think I want him just for money. Okay. And I see a lot of women take that approach. However, if you are sleeping with this individual, there should be no problem why he would not be able to support you financially if you needed help at some point. I wouldn't say that you continuously go to him for money because then he would view it that you were only with him just for money. But I don't think it's anything wrong if there's someone that you're laying down with and giving your body to, that he shouldn't be able to help you because he shouldn't want to see you in a messed up situation. Is absolutely, hold on, up to the individual. People are different, and no, I have worked since I was 14. I make my own way. Okay. Look at East Dad. He thinking on this one. He's staying clear of these questions, Sierra. Go ahead, Sierra. You can go with question number 2.
Okay, question number 2. What is your expectations from your partner when y'all make a decision to move in together with you and your kids? So I'll repeat the question. What's your expectation or expectations from your partner when y'all make a decision to move in together with you and your kids?
You're absolutely looking at the answers. This is the place to be, East Dad. We are going to be here every Tuesday with a different guest. Please tune in next week, everybody that's in here, and bring a friend and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we are, myself and 2 of the women are present in the live stream now. We are going to be talking about international love. Coincidentally, all 4 of us are in relationship, marriages, or partners, or whatever, with Nigerian men. And we are going to talk about that openly. The things that we like about it, the things that we dislike, the whole immigrations, the sister wives, everything, multiple wives. We're going to get down and dirty next week. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a total of 4 of us on the panel at this point. Not sure if we can get any others to join in. We can have 6 at a time, but it doesn't limit us to 6. We can swap people out here and there. So be here. It's going down next week. Yes, because that seems to be the route that the brothers are taking over in the Sensational Gents live streams. They're saying that they're getting their passports. They leaving the country. They going to go get them those foreign women because it's less drama and less headache than dealing with American women. So we do the flip side of things. We bring the thoughts of the American women viewpoint, the modern day women. We do our viewpoint over here. So East Dad, you might want to tune into the Sensational Gents live stream. He's on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have him on my community tab. I've shared him out because I go in there every week. I love it. But guys, the second question again, what are your expectations from your partner or significant other when you decide to move them into the home with you and your children? That's nonsense in your opinion? Wow. Wow. That's coming from a male. I love it. I love it. 50-50 in that he shows my kids the respect they deserve. So 50-50, Lizette, as far as paying the bills, or like be specific. What are your when you and this guy sit down and have this conversation, like, look, we're going to go ahead and do it. It's cheaper for us to live together. What does that conversation look like? What exactly? Because you have to be upfront with people. Treat it like you're dealing with a Muslim man, because I've shared with y'all before. If you are dating a Muslim brother and you guys are looking to get married and he sit down and have that meeting with that imam, if you do not put all your wants and needs into the contract, he do not have to meet those needs. So you need to be very specific. What is this conversation looking like when you and this man are deciding to blend your families and you're bringing him into your household? Because you got to remember, you do have children from another man. So what does that conversation look like? Plenty of quality U.S. men available. Where y'all looking? Oh, no, he did. He getting us together over here, huh? I we can talk about that too, ladies. If y'all don't mind answering that question next week, why you opted to date Nigerian men, because I don't have a problem with it. But yes, we definitely can address that. And it's not to say anything bad against all American brothers. Oh, but there's some sorry ones out there. Listen, they not always doing the right thing, Eastad. I'm sorry. Hopefully your children are respecting him as well. That's another tricky one. What if they don't get along with the kids? See, that's exactly why we are asking these questions, Judith. Yeah, you're right on the right path. It's a lot that goes with that. It's not that he only has to respect the children. This stuff have to be reciprocated. And then you, mom, where do you stand? How are you going to hash all this out when something comes up? Like, that's why it's very important for you to really get to know an individual before you move in with them. Rather, the both of you are single with no children, or especially when there are children involved on one side. So you're going to leave it. Okay. Yeah, because that can be, blended families are not easy. We not looking for a man. A man supposed to find his wife. There you go. There you go. And in my case, that's what's happened. And I'm sure in these ladies, the same thing. But everybody's going to tell their own story. You said, so y'all moved to Nigeria then? No disrespect. I love the questions. We're okay with it. We can handle ourselves. We're in America. And the Nigerian men will come here. There you go. There you go, Judith. Exactly. There are men all over the world that ain't it. Right. You're right. I can't. The only reason why we say American men is because that's all we've dated, really. That's the majority of our dating history. American men. So I can't speak on something that I have no knowledge of firsthand. I can't take somebody else's experience and push it on anybody else. I'm fair. So I dated American men, and then there came a point in my life when I decided I was not dating any more Black American men. And so I moved on to what I felt worked for me. These women probably feel the same way. It's not to say that all American aren't, ish. However, I had enough bad relationships with them that I know when to throw in the towel. It's unfortunate, but it's no difference than other cultures or races saying that they would go and date another race or culture as well. Same difference. It's a matter of a personal choice. I want my man to be... Me and my man discuss finances, boundaries, and discipline, especially when it comes to blended families before moving in. Right. Okay, so I love that answer, Brandy. What happens if you discuss it beforehand and then a situation arises and they're not handling it the way that they said they would in the beginning? Now what? What are you doing then? Are you inviting the children or the child's father into the equation? Or are you still keeping it within your household and relying on both you and that individual to rectify it? Exactly, but hopefully the mom and her partner will have figured that out before moving him in if he and the kids didn't get along. In that case, relationship may not work. Exactly, it's not going to work. If there's hiccups, especially around children, it's not going to work. You got to remember the children have a father. They have their father's side of the family. People like to question kids and they want to hear whatever they want to hear and they want to react to it. It's a lot that comes with that. Fair enough. Look at his face. You don't really believe that, but okay, you'll take it, right? That's a okay, let's agree to disagree type answer. Holding them accountable. Okay. Right, Judith. I will never date anyone that does not like me. Okay. Okay. If they don't look like you, you can't date them. Okay. We working together, right? Communication and compromise. I'll keep my household problems in the household unless my children are in here. Okay, I like that, Brandy. It's true. Safety first. Exactly. Because once you invite outside influences, and that means your girlfriend too, chit chatting on the phone and making her have all access to what's going on in your household is not necessarily a good thing either. Be mindful of that. 50-50 on whatever it is that both men and women agree on. It's, everyone's situation is different. Maybe they can go 50-50 on bills because one is not working. So then they have to figure out. Yeah, things are going to change along the way. Someone may get injured and come out of work. I mean, for different reasons. Somebody might just lose their job. It might be a relocation thing. It's a lot that comes with being in a relationship. Head of household is very important because you need to have a cushion and especially know how you're going to take care of those bills. Anything can happen. Unfortunately, somebody can pass. So you have to be able to maintain those bills regardless. But I was just talking about behaviorally, like what are you willing to accept from your men that you move into the house with these children? Because you know children tend to go, when they're smaller, they run back and forth and tell things. When they are older, like teenagers, those boys, they challenge those men. They like, F you, you're not my father. You know how that goes. So it's really, really hard on the mother who wants her little happy family, but the reality of it all is it's not, you're not happy. 50-50 is 100% okay. Or we not, wait, Judah, was that something? Or we not together? Okay. Oh, look at Mr. Naked. Okay. Sierra, you can read the next one.
Okay, y'all. Question number 3. Do you feel like your partner should have input in all aspects of the home? Do you feel like they should have input when they're coming into your home? So I'm going to read the question again. Do you feel like your partner should have input in all aspects of the home?
So this goes back to that question. Welcome, Deandra. I see you coming in, Queen. Thank you so much for joining us. This goes back to the question. What does the conversation look like when you meet this new guy and you guys get to the point where you want to move in together and you have to discuss the bills? You have to discuss your children. You have to discuss everything. What are you like willing to do with that? Like, do you feel like your partner at that point, do you say to him that he has input or say so in all aspects of the home? Because this is, again, like that Muslim situation. You get your contract down, you're setting up your rules. This is what I expect. You can go back because I see some. Okay. I want my man to be head of household and be the main breadwinner. However, as his partner, I'll pick up wherever he lacks financially if that time comes. Okay. So you're still sticking with, in the beginning, I heard you say he can pay the rent and then you'll pay utilities. So you're still there. But if he falls short, you're willing to take on that responsibility. Put your big girl panties on and do what needs to be done. Okay, that's Sierra. Mine's is moving so slow. I apologize, guys. Absolutely. It becomes your home. Okay, Judith, I like that. Yeah. My partner should absolutely have input because that's his home too. I want him to be comfortable too. Right, but you still got to keep in mind, those kids got fathers now. So is it going to change when an incident occur and the child run and tell their father, then the father comes show up or call you and he wants some answers? Are you still going to keep that same energy? I have to get back to work, Miss A. Okay, can definitely make for interesting chat. Okay. Good night. Thank you so much. Is that conversation looking the same once the kid go tell their father and their father get involved? Those uncomfortable conversations are, yeah, they are very, listen, you have to get a little uncomfortable. You have to, and that's in any situation, or you're never going to really get to the core, the root of things. You have to hold these conversations. You need to know, is it worth you taking the risk of moving this individual in? Because you're going to meet some problems. There is no such thing as a perfect relationship. I can tell you that now. No matter how good people make it look on the outside, baby, they be going through some stuff. And it may not even be traumatic, but they are going through stuff and they're struggling. See, maybe people should make sure they are ready for the union and moving together. Yeah, exactly. More damage can be caused. Yeah, it's something that's going to come up. It could be something so trivial, but something's going to come up. And a lot of times people live together supposedly in harmony. However, they be harboring ill will towards one another because somebody rubbed somebody the wrong way or said something or embarrassed somebody. And I don't really like when partners do that. They be having a problem with you, but they move on their day-to-day life like everything is okay. And it takes for one conversation or one thing to happen, and then it just explodes. I don't think that's fair. To me, that's kind of like sleeping with the enemy. You have somebody that's out to get you, and you're unaware of it. It's a dangerous situation. Maybe people should. Okay. I think he can have his input because we are both sharing a home. Right. Okay. Nothing is changing. Bring it. Oh, I should have known that coming from you, Judah. My partner will have input. Right. My partner is my kid's father. Right. However, if in that type of situation, he would still have a say. Good. Okay. Yeah. It needs to be. Listen, you have to. Hey, PMC. Welcome, King. Thank you so much. Driving and listening. Appreciate having you here. Mega love shout out to all of Team Happy that's still coming in. Appreciate having you here. So, yeah, it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had because you are setting up the future for your relationship with this individual that could really run long term and end up in marriage. And you really want to make sure it's comfortable for all parties involved, including yourself, your partner, and your children. And if their father is around, no man wants to have his children living in an environment where he don't feel like they're safe. If the father is active in their kids' lives and concerned, then we all three can sit down as adults and talk, wow, those are his kids too. And if he has genuine concerns for the kids, we'll discuss them. Oh, that's very big of you. That's very big of you, Brandy. I don't know that I would sit down with my kid's father, considering that's a thing of the past. I can have a separate conversation with him, but in my opinion, and this is just me, we're not together anymore. I've moved on with my life, and obviously you have too. I can share things with you concerning the children, but I don't have to bring you and have you sit down with my partner because I'm giving you, if you disagree with anything that we may be stating, I'm giving you the opportunity to kind of control my house and my family dynamics that you are no longer a part of to that extent. So I can't do that. Everybody's situation is different. And I know that we would treat each situation differently, but I just don't think that I would sit down with my kid's father and allow them to make those type of major decisions with me and my partner. If we are the ones maintaining that home, then those conversations need to be had between the two of us. Like I said, I can talk to the child's father, and that depends on the age of the children as well, because once they're into adulthood, then I'm not doing that. My situation was different because my boy's dad was not involved. So, right, my now husband really stepped in and helped out. He never overstepped his boundaries. He didn't come in trying to run their life. Exactly. And that's exactly what all women should be looking for. A partner that's going to come in and transition into the dynamics of your family with ease. Don't want it to be forced. You don't want anyone to come in and create havoc. And you don't really, again, women want to bring men in just to be financial support. We have to be fair when we're making a decision like that. If these children are not being abused, harmed in any way, we have nothing to discuss about our household. There you go. I'm with you, Judith. Like, again, if it's something pertaining to the kids and he has to know, by all means. But if it's about how we're running our household, no, you are not a part of my household. So you're not going to get privy to that information. Nope. Not at all. Welcome, Kiki. Thank you for joining us, Queen. I have to make my way over to your channel. I just caught you in my comment section recently, and I do have you documented to come on over. Gotta see what you got going over there. You be busy. I know you be doing you. What's the other one? She So Wells and 755 Media are three that I know is always on doing something. So I gotta catch up with all three of you. See what you guys got going on. I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want respect to have the sit down conversation if my kid was with her. Oh, wow. Okay. Again, a lot of these answers come when you're at a different time in your life, different age. So you may have had different experiences. And so, of course, you would look at things differently. I am a more older and seasoned woman, so of course I would see something way different from someone in their 20s because I've been through some things. Again, everything is situational. Welcome, Danny. Thank you for coming in, Queen. Appreciate having you here. Exactly. If he has concerns about the kids' safety, then we can discuss. Now, if he's mad because my man yelled at those kids, then he can kiss my... Oh, my God. Go, Brandy. Brandy not playing. Okay. Right. Listen. Tell me a household that a child is going to live in that they're never going to get yelled at. I'll wait. It's going to happen. 9 times out of 10, when those men come to us frustrated about it, that's not really the source of the problem. The problem is that the man exists anyway. So, yeah, they can miss me with that. It's a loaded topic. I don't think I can chat because it's too much to type. You want to come up here? You want us to drop a link? She do? One moment, guys. Let's get her in. It should be up there if you want to join. Deandra, tap that link. Anybody else want to come up on the panel? You're welcome. That's fine. She said I can talk but not show my face. I don't want to move past this question in case she wanted to talk specifically about that particular question. Let's see. Lacey, Judith, anybody want to come up? Brandy? I know Danny not coming. She's shy. Tamika Davis not coming. Lisette, you got good input. You want to come on up, sweetheart? Kenneth, thank you so much, King, for coming in. Welcome. Appreciate having you here. Welcome, Deandra.
Hi.
We have Deandra up on the panel now, too, guys. So, did you want to talk about that particular question, Deandra?
So what exactly was your question? Because I know I'm late.
Sierra, what was that question, sweetheart?
Do you feel like your partner should have input in all aspects of the home?
My partner wouldn't care about all aspects of the home. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean? Like, I'm
Okay,
thinking
so
like you talking about like furniture and all that type. Like he don't care about all that stuff.
no,
So what exactly?
basically what we're talking about, like when there's a single mother with children, and she and the kid's father have a falling out, and then she move on into the next relationship. So when they get to the point where they're going to move in together, this woman and this new man, and have a blended family, what does that conversation look like? Do you feel like this partner should have input or say so in all aspects of the home?
Well, he can't run his household and mine too
No,
because I'm like,
he's going to move into your house.
you talking about the new man.
The new man, yes. And we were saying, like, you got to consider that the kids still have a father who may get frustrated. Maybe sometimes the kids might take information back to the father. Maybe the father is just jealous of you moving on into this new relationship. We did have someone at one point in the live stream say that when it got to that point, she would sit down with both her new man and her kid's father and have a conversation. But when we started giving our input, she's like, wait a minute, no. If it's about the safety and the care of the children, fine. However, if it's about the goings on in my house, then hell no. So what do you feel?
If he feels like the kids like legit are in danger in some way, then yeah, he can speak on it. But other than that, you should, as me, say if I split up from my husband today, and a little bit down the line I moved on, he should already know in his head that I'm not going to have my kids in a situation that's shaky, anyways. So he should know that. And you know, what it boils down to, sometimes they're just trying to be nosy to see what you got going on. And with the kids, sometimes it could be simply they don't like something that that person said, so they're going to go back and try to make it more than what it is. So at that point, I got to have a talk with my kids. Look, you can't go just running your mouth telling everything because you don't like a decision that was made. Because prime example, I have a family member. She she married this man years ago. Her kids were younger. Now her child is at an age where he graduated high school, and they never set those boundaries. So they just had a falling out because he felt like he didn't have to respect that man. When your daddy, he comes in his life, into your life whenever he feels that it's convenient for him, and you feel like your dad is supposed to rescue you. But it's like, no, y'all should have established this a long time ago. You have to respect whoever I bring into this house. But it also depends on what type of woman you're dealing with. If I'm a woman who just worried about keeping a man, then that's different. So I feel that it can be different for different people, if you get what I'm saying.
Exactly. I see Life with Brandy agrees exactly. My kid's father should know I'm not putting these babies in harm's way. Especially if you have been with this man for so many years. He saw how you move. He see how you was doing the upbringing of the children and everything. So why in good and hell well would you think when I move on to my next relationship that I'm just going to transform into a total different person? I'm not going to have the same morals and values and expectations that I had for you. It's just a different individual.
But Ms. Wanda, while I'm here, I don't want to take over your show because I was in the middle. I'm finishing editing my video right now. But it's funny that you say that because I'm a step parent too. And my attitude towards it is I love the kids also. But if the parents ever had questions about me, if you felt any type of way, my thing is leave them at home. That's just how I feel.
So agree.
Like, if you don't trust them to be here with me, because chances are my husband is at work anyway, and I'm the one who's caring for the kids. And if you feel like they're not safe, or if you just being petty, just keep them at home, and I don't even have to worry about it. Period.
Exactly, because when it comes to those blended families, there are going to be a number of issues that arise. That's why these brothers over in Sensational Gents live stream are warning each other, like, don't even get involved when it's a single mother because it's a lot of drama that comes with it. And
Yeah.
they talk so negatively, you know. I mean, that's their take. That's a man's standpoint. That's their take.
Mhm.
However, I just was speaking to my community of women. Like, this is what the men are thinking of us. So I'm trying to see, like, what is going on out here? Why do they keep saying they get with these women that are just allowing any and everything to happen? Or really, their biggest concern is the women normally move them into the household only to be financial support, because they can't afford all them bills on their own once they separate from
Mhm.
their child's father.
Yep. Right on.
Sierra, you want to go to the next question? Wait 1 second. TSM, it is basically single mothers that's moving on into a newer relationship, basically asking the community how are they handling things. We asked what was the expectation from their new partner coming in to the household when there's already children, and of course the kids have their father. We were trying to see, like, what are your expectations? Do you expect them basically to be only your financial support, or do they have some say so in all aspects of the home?
Miss Wanda, can I say one more thing too before I
Sure.
drop that down in the chat?
Uh-huh, no problem. You
Okay.
can stay up.
So it's, I was about to cook.
Okay.
It's you know, like as being a step parent, they want you to. It seems like people want you to be there, like as far as okay, if you do for your kids, you need to do for your stepchild. If you do this, you need to do that. But when it comes to the discipline side, oh, you better not touch my child. You better not say nothing to my child. So it's like, which is it? Do you want me to treat this child like it's my child, or do you want me to treat it like uh typical steps? Like, what do you want? So it's like, where do you draw the line? If you
Okay, and that's
expect me to provide and treat them as if they're my own child, but when it comes down to correcting them, then that's a problem.
That's exactly why we have this topic. Exactly what you're talking about right now. Those men felt like women want you to do pay the bills, pick them up, take them to sports, everything. But when something goes on, which is our next question, do you allow them to have any type of discipline, verbal, redirection, social, behavioral? Like, why is it that he can do all aspects of the home, but he can't have a say on the discipline? Or she, if it's a stepmother. That's exactly where we're going with this. If you're expecting me to do things and raise your child, and why can't I just have any input? Because that's when a lot of women step in and say, wait a minute now, that's my child, that ain't your child. I have family members that my cousin, he's the male, married a female, and they have been together since she had one child with a previous relationship. They didn't have any kids together. Later on, they had two children together. But whenever those children got older to like their teenage years and started having behavioral problems, and he would want to say things as the male figure in the home, she would stop him and remind him he's not yours. Unacceptable. If you have this man playing the role and the father has been absent all these years, why isn't that it's not fair? Like, to me, that's way better than being just a stepfather that steps in like that. Is better than a father, because you're taking on another man's responsibility. And I'm telling you, in my cousin's situation, he was phenomenal as a father, and still is. Now that the male figure is in his 30s, he goes back and of course appreciates, and he tells my cousin like he did an outstanding job, and he acknowledged where he was being troublesome and creating havoc in the household. He acknowledged that, and he apologized for it, which I commend him for doing it as a young man in his 30s, because some people will never ever apologize and tell you that they were wrong. But yeah, that is a problem when a female expects a man to come into the house and pay the bills and do everything, but the one thing he can't do is a reprimand. And it's not even corporal punishment. It's just, don't say anything to my child. That's crazy to me. I've shared with this community a number of times that there was a clip that he showed over on his live stream where it was a 25-year-old man. I could be wrong with his age, but he was around then. And the mom and her husband, who was not his father, was in the kitchen having a conversation. And he was saying, I think this boy needs to start taking the trash out or something. He needs to bring some money into the household or something. He ran here eating just like us. He turned the light on. He running up the electricity just like us. Every time he take a shower, that's my water bill. And he's doing everything we doing, but he's not paying no bills or doing no chores. And the mom got defensive. Wait a minute now. That's my child. Like, no, you'll leave this house before he leave the house. And I just thought that was crazy. And the boy in the refrigerator, he stood up like, what y'all arguing about? And then the mom was like, he talk about you need to do chores and pay. Nah, dog, if my mom, it's what my mom said. If she said, feel me, that I ain't doing it, then that's what it is. Like, blatantly disrespectful. Unacceptable. How could you expect this man to endure that? How do you think that's okay? We're going to look at some of the chat right now, see, and catch up a little bit.
Okay, Miss Wanda, I'm about to get ready to go, but I just want to say that's where I feel like we got life mixed up in. A lot of women are raising their sons to be their boyfriends in a way.
Yep.
And it's like, we're not friends, I'm your parent, and I feel like there's a place for a parent and there's a place for a child, and we kind of got that mixed up somewhere along the way.
Thank you so much for coming up on the panel. You are 100% correct. It's different stroke for different folk. And unfortunately, people will listen to this live stream and they won't do a self-assessment or change anything about themselves because they're headstrong and they feel like what they're doing is absolutely right and it ain't no changing. Some people are just stubborn. Some people are going to die out of this world stubborn. But hopefully we reach somebody who may be in a relationship similar to any of the situations that we explained here tonight, and maybe they can do self-assessment and change some things for the betterment of their relationship, and especially for the longevity of the relationship, and hopefully to have the children a better outcome in the future, because it's a shame. They're like sponge, they absorb everything, and if you don't allow these men to step in and be men now, you're gonna regret it.
Exactly. I'm gonna drop that down in the chat.
Okay, I appreciate having you. Thank you. Okay, so I see TSM rapper. Women nowadays have letting their guard down strongly. Yes. So agree. The new age, of course. But we as men are responsible for a woman's outcome. Ooh, discipline is definitely a thing that has been discussed before. And Belindo's family. Exactly, Brandy. You have to discuss it beforehand and get a grasp on how you expect the dynamics to go once you're all under one household. Agree with you, Dee. If men learned how to treat ladies better, life in general for her would be greater. I would love for you, TSM, to go over to the Sensational Gents live stream. He's normally on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a group of men. They call themselves like the Passport Brothers. They say they're getting their passports and going to other countries because they're done dating American women. We are too strong-minded. They're no longer interested. And these are some of their concerns that they have over there, that women basically want another man to move into the house for financial support. I have a lot of input on this. That's too much. Okay. You want to come up, Brandy? Come on. True. Okay. That's so true. Absolutely. Journey with Kiki. Okay. TSM, you are correct, but it's a woman's responsibility to demand the male response. It's true. I see that both ways, Judith. Yeah. It's not 100% the man's responsibility. I love the stance that he's taken, but you can't take on all of that, sir. Like, everybody have a position to be played here. She has to put her foot down too. I'm not a spanker. I don't spank my kids. However, I yell, girl. My man spanks his kids, and when he spanks his children, I know he's hurting them, just like I know he would hurt. Okay. All right. Yeah. It should really be no spanking, period. We should be able to handle these kids in a way, or even give them the look. You know, the old grandmom stuff and your old aunties and stuff. Just give them the look. They know how to straighten up, because that's what happens in my household. They do anything extreme that'll lead to spanking. I know it's nothing more than a tap, and I know he won't physical pain on them. Okay. Oh, I saw TSM at Judith True. But whenever ladies put their foot down and ground rules, men are so quick to walk away. That's true. They can't handle it. I wish you were in here earlier when East Dad was in here. Another brother was in here. And he felt a ways because we introduced next week's topics, where it's going to be 4 of us up on the panel, and we're going to be discussing international love. Coincidentally, the 4 of us are all in relationships with Nigerian men. So he had concerns about that. Hopefully he'll come back next week and you will too, TSM. I would love for you to see his thought process. She'll be single if I can do everything for your kids, but reprimand the goodbye. There you go. You can't have me in there half-ass. Either we're in there as a team, we're going to do everything together, or we just aren't. Hey, Kimberly, welcome, Queen. Good to have you here. I tend to call that the Bill Cosby / Claire Huxtable thing, where if you remember a lot of their episodes, there was no one on one page and the other parent on another. They always met in the middle, and they used to basically plot against them kids, is what I said. Sort of like Bertie Mac on his little TV show. I love that approach. Stay on the same team. Once the kids know that they can divide between the parents, it's a problem. Your house, they're going to run amok. You cannot allow your children or man to be disrespectful amongst one another. Absolutely. Kiki, girl, when I saw that clip, I was blown away. She did it right in front of that man. And in front of the son. No. She should have had that conversation with the man. But really, she was doing her son a disservice. Why can't he take out the trash? Why can't he bring a couple dollars in? He's saving his money. You'll leave before he leaves, so you chose your son over me. A lot of these women get it twisted. And they do that. They put their children before their husband. And not to say that things aren't situational. It depends. However, if you're having that type of conversation with your partner, the child should never be in earshot, no matter how old they are. The channel name is The Sensational Gent. He's on my community tab. He's normally up there every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm in there like clockwork. I love sitting in there because, I don't always agree with their viewpoints because they're men. They see it differently from me. However, their thing is red pill, blue pill, and all of that boils down to leaving the U.S. and going to date those foreign women. And they somehow believe that these foreign women are never going to want to come to the U.S. And I told them they are sadly mistaken, because myself, I am married to a Nigerian, and I'm telling them from personal experience that when we're talking to my husband's family and friends back over in Nigeria, their goal is to get hooked up with a woman in America or a man in America so they too can come over to the U.S. But for whatever reason, they believe that's not the case. So, and 1 week they basically said flat out, so what? So what? So what if that's what they want? They think that they're going to have these women set up financially over there that they would not want to come in the U.S. And I said, that might be okay with you and the woman, but her family is going to push for her to want to come on over. So it's very obvious with all immigrants. That's why the whole immigrations is so busy. They want to come to the U.S. Why wouldn't they? When they're in those other poor countries, why wouldn't they? But yeah, when it comes to discipline, get your kids in check, communicate appropriately with them before you try to get your man in check, right? You got to check all parties. I think, Brandy, in the beginning when you said you would sit down with your man, your now man, and your kid's father, I would remove the kid's father and sit down with the man and the kids. That's what I would do. Normally, when you have a blended family, you have to do things differently. Maybe you should have weekly or monthly family meetings where everyone get to put their questions and or concerns on the table, and we can hash it out and address it as a family. I think that's better. That will probably keep a lot of people away from counseling. A lot of families, because there's family counseling too. It would probably help out a lot. It would definitely help out with the line of communication between the parents and the children and the step whatever father or mother and the children. Who's the other lady on the panel? Oh, that's just being Sierra. Brian Beham Hamilton, welcome, King. Thank you for joining us. Sierra, do you want to go to the next question?
All right, question number 5 is, do you discuss or adjust the structure of your household with your partner from time to time? And how does it affect your child's father's opinion? So I'll repeat it. Do you discuss or adjust the structure of your household with your partner from time to time? And if so, how does it affect your child's father's opinion?
So really quickly, while you guys are coming up with an answer for that, I just want to go over one of the responses that was on Sensational Gent's video last week. His question of the day was, should men date single mothers if they won't be eventually allowed to discipline the kids? Why or why not? One of the brothers that's genuinely in his chat every week had this to say. I disagree. My opinion, no such thing as a good single mother. Why? At the basis of a single mother is not actively being responsible and accountable for her circumstances, but single mothers expect the next man to be responsible and accountable for another man's responsibility and accountabilities. For example, single mothers are seeking men to save them and subsidize their broken family. Thusly, a single mother expecting more from the non-biological stepfather is ridiculous. I tell all men that will listen to not be involved with single mothers. As sad as that sounds, he's on point. I always tell you guys that if I agree with them, I do. There's a lot that this brother said in here. How could you possibly expect the next man to be responsible and held accountable for children that's not theirs if you don't hold their father accountable? It's a shame, but that's how they feel. Stay away from single mothers. It's not true in every situation, but ladies, it is true in a lot of situations. It's sad. Again, I'm hoping that if anybody in here that may be in a similar situation, maybe something they heard in here tonight will encourage them to do a self-assessment, and maybe they can tweak some things and do things a little different. Because it's not fair for these brothers to walk around feeling like they're only there for financial support. Nobody wants to flip it around. Would you want to feel like you're in a relationship just because somebody needs you for money? It's just not fair. I think this brother was spot on with his answer, and he normally is from week to week when he's over there in this guy's live streams. Is very unfortunate. But he said, to answer the question of the day, yes, single mothers should allow stepfathers to be fathers, because otherwise it's fruitless for men to be involved. A lot of times, ladies, the father of these children do not want to be nowhere near the equation. And you get this good brother that comes in and is willing to be in the household and help you take care of all the finances and your children. and you sort of shoot yourself in the foot by running these brothers off because you just absolutely refuse to allow them to partake in the discipline part of the relationship. Again, sometimes we do that and you're causing a disservice to your child because somebody has to be the good male figure. Somebody has to be the good role model. What are you going to do? Because I'm telling you, women, we are not equipped to raise men. We are not. We can do a great job, but we are very nurturing. They need that structure. They need the male figure and or role model. And if you don't have one within your family, go out and seek it with like a Big Brothers program. There is no way. We can raise them. We can support them and make sure all their needs are met. And we can feed them and clothe them, but we cannot make them men. They need a male figure to do that. So, we have to do better. As mothers, we have to assess ourselves when we have children in a household with another man that's stepping in and helping us with everything. We have to allow these men to get involved. Sometimes their input is so valuable, but we don't allow it. And then unfortunately, later on down the line, our children tend to get in trouble. I will use myself as an example. When I was younger, in my 20s, I dated a young man who obviously sold drugs. Back then it was a thing. However, when I look at it now in hindsight, it made absolutely no sense. I had a son. Unfortunately, my son saw that. And he probably, and I'm just thinking now, he probably saw it like, that's the way to go. If my mom is enduring that and my mom's tolerating that, then if she's supporting a man that's going to jail and selling drugs, then what's going to stop my son from turning to the streets? Which eventually he did. My son, I told you guys, I shared with you a lot. My son is incarcerated. That's why I'm raising his children. I blame myself a lot now that I look back in hindsight because of the example I had in the household with this young boy. And so now, as an adult who is incarcerated, what is he going to expect but for his mother to support him because you supported that man, so I know you're going to support me. So we got to watch the messages that we are giving our children through our lives in the way that we are conducting business and the people that we are bringing into our families, because unfortunately it have a long-term effect. There is nobody that can tell me that a lot of my son's trouble did not start because of the poor decisions I made when I was a young mother. There's nobody that can then change my mind. I have accepted that. I am dealing with that. I apologize to my son. And I even made mention to that man now that I believe he was a part of the downfall for my son. Not to give him 100% blame, because even though I did everything and anything for him, he was my only child, so I wrapped everything in him. But it still obviously wasn't enough because he turned to the streets. Unfortunately, when we can do all we can, and it's just going back to what I just said, we cannot raise these boys to be men. We can't. I gave him everything. There was nothing that he needed that he should have looked into the street for, but it's what he did with his friends. And unfortunately, I couldn't save him. But this is my new norm. This is what I'm dealing with. And, you know, I take full accountability for that. But a lot of situations that other people are enduring or have endured is simply because they made poor decisions. I'm going to go into the chat and see what you guys are talking about here. Sierra, is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I just think that a lot of the opinions that were, brought to the table tonight definitely are something and things that, I can relate to as well. So you ladies are not alone and sharing your story with other people, other women, definitely helps to, like I said, know that someone has your back, know that, you're not alone in situations, and it just ensures and, shows that these situations happen on a daily. As women, like MrsAmaechi said, we have to do better. No, we don't have to run out here and find the next man to come running into our household to take over, for our kids. um, but you definitely can find someone who is, the one, and the one that's going to actually help you raise, these boys into men. Of course, they can't come in and raise your daughters to be queens. That is the woman's responsibility. But it is always nice to have someone around who can step in and help in any way possible. Even if it's just taking them for a haircut, taking them for a shape up, something. Just, there's also plenty of resources in the community if you don't have any, um, such as like, Big Big Sister. Um, and then like I said, there's other resources available for those type of situations when you don't have anyone. Just always try to reach out to someone, connect with someone, and ask. Never be afraid to ask for help.
Okay, so I see, I'm going back to Journey with Kiki. The Bible says if you're married, your husband comes first, then your children. Exactly. But God is always first. Absolutely. Brandy, if the kids aren't in any physical harm's way, the kid's father should know the dynamic of your home. Exactly. The man I'm dating is a single dad, so we typically see eye to eye and have an understanding when it comes to these things. I hope you guys maintain that open dialect, because it's going to be very essential if you guys decide to move forward and blend your family. So keep that same energy that you have here, Brandy, because that'll make for a great outcome for you guys. Is any part why our kids are so sensitive and soft today? Some people don't want their kids to be corrected. Exactly. I see she said here, listening in the background. I'm a super independent woman, and when I met the man I'm with now, and he showed me he could take lead, I was willing to not be so super independent. Very good. And learn to be softer and accept him and taking the lead. Yeah, it's sometimes okay to let go of some things. It's just like on a job. We tend to, when we get new workers, we want to train them, but then we don't want to let go. Let go sometimes. It'll take a lot of the stress off of you. There's roles. My husband and I do everything in zones, and it works for us. I know that Tony's responsible for this, and he knows that I'm responsible for this. As far as the kids, we meet in the middle. But even still, I always brought him in like, listen, don't let them kids get over on you. If they come to you and ask you anything, just tell them go ask Dilute. Or bring them to me. Let's do this together. Don't answer them off to the side, because these little sneaky boys corner Tony all the time, and he give in, and repeatedly I get him in the room like, why did you give TJ so? Oh, because he asked. But I told you, when they ask, bring them to me, or redirect them back to me. And Tony falls off a lot, and they know it. They know Tony be sleeping. They be like, get him while he watches soccer, he'll let you do anything. I notice that they always get him when he's watching soccer. And we laugh about it all the time. It's small stuff, but I don't want it to get to a point where it's something big and it's the same thing happening. I saw something from Judith. Oh, she said, Judith, you're right about that. Okay. This has been a great live stream, guys. Mega love shout out to all of Team Happy coming in. I appreciate having you guys here. Thank you so much. Again, everybody, we're at the end of today's live stream, of course. Join in next week. Very interesting topic with some beautiful queens that's going to join me. We are going to be talking about international love. Coincidentally, all of us are in relationship or marriages with Nigerian men, and we're just going to share with you our experiences in our relationships. We're going to talk about how we met them, the dynamics of the relationships, taking on the culture. Was it hard to bring the two cultures together? If we're ever gonna be accepting of being with this man, if we ever discovered that he wanted to take on additional wives, or would we entertain the opportunity or the thought of even being a sister wife? So it's gonna get really, really deep next week. Ladies, please join in for that topic. I can't wait for next Tuesday to get here. I'm rushing the rest of the week so we can get to it. All of the women that's going to be on the panel was in the chat tonight. Thank you, ladies. This was a very good conversation. I enjoyed meeting up with you guys here, rubbing minds, sharing thoughts, seeing how other people come in with it and how they handle theirs, because everybody's not going to agree with me 100%, and I'm not going to agree with everybody 100%, but I love that we can always meet in the middle. We can agree to disagree, and we can just have a great time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Sierra, for being my special guest tonight. Anybody that wants to come up on the platform, DM me. I will share my link. I will get your email address, or you can wait until you're in the chat and I can drop the link and you can tap it and come on in. Please don't be shy. We are a sisterhood here. We are all sisters. No need to be shy. If you have to turn your camera off like Deandra did, by all means do that. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Love and respect to you all.